We are taught that the rules of wealth require rigid, constant discipline. Track every dollar, deny every convenience, and watch the pennies. But when you treat your life like a math problem that never ends, eventually the whole system snaps. Take Jake. He follows the willpower-based system. He logs his lunch, agonizes over the price of groceries, and acts as his own accountant, believing that total control is the only way to get ahead. Marcus takes a systems-based approach. He has no spreadsheet and doesn't track his daily spending. He automated his savings upfront, meaning whatever is left in his account is his to live on without a single calculation. By week 3, Jake has saved a few extra dollars by skipping his morning coffee, while Marcus looks objectively irresponsible for paying $40 for a grocery delivery. Jake's short-term win feels like progress, but it carries a heavy, invisible cost. Financial researchers call this the difference between emotional math and actual math. Jake is maximizing his savings while unknowingly maximizing his decision fatigue. The financial advice industry thrives by selling an illusion of control. It treats human behavior like an unemotional algorithm, suggesting that if you just try harder and restrict more, wealth is inevitable. But cognitive bandwidth is finite. The mental energy used to agonize over a $5 coffee depletes the same battery required for major life decisions. Obsessing over microtransactions creates a scarcity mindset that blinds you to massive leaks. You spend your energy saving $1,500 on lattes while ignoring a $15,000 salary raise you never negotiated because you were too tired to think about it. Prioritizing daily financial friction misallocates your most valuable non-renewable resource. You are rearranging deck chairs on a ship while the engine is losing power. Willpower is not a strategy. It's a biological fuel. When you attempt to budget down to the last cent, you are essentially running a marathon at a sprint. Most people abandon their spreadsheets by February because the brain simply refuses to keep running. Research on financial behavior from the University of Cambridge found that overly rigid budgets have massive abandonment rates. They fail because they demand too many daily decisions, draining the same willpower you need for the rest of your life. This exhaustion leads to backlash spending. After months of feeling perpetually broke and restricted, you snap. The resulting binge spend usually wipes out months of careful saving in a single weekend. Failing a rigid budget is a survival response, not a moral one. Your brain is opting out of an environment of constant performative suffering. Frugality without a calculation of the time and energy it consumes is not wealth building. It is just spending your life to save a few dollars that never actually move the needle. Moving away from rigid budgeting does not mean moving toward reckless spending. Blind consumption is just a different way to stay stuck. The systems-based approach relies on front-loading the friction. You make one hard decision to automate your life, rather than demanding 50 perfect micro-decisions every week. Earlier generations had natural, physical barriers to spending. You had to physically go to an ATM to get cash. When the wallet was empty, the spending stopped. Today, since the friction is gone, you have to build your own digital gate. Marcus does this by automating his savings to move into investments the moment his paycheck hits. He sets guardrails on housing and transport, ensuring the important money is handled before he ever sees it. This system is sustainable because it doesn't depend on your daily mood or energy levels. It depends on one good decision running on autopilot. To see the true divergence of these operating systems, we must look past the monthly statement. Compounding wealth requires a lens of 10 years. After a decade, Jake is financially exhausted. He has lived through 10 years of starting and abandoning willpower-based budgets, leaving his net worth largely where it started. Marcus has reached the crossover point. His automated investments generate more wealth through compound interest than he contributes from his salary. The math reveals a widening gap. Most of his net worth is built by the system itself, while his personal contributions shrink. The game of wealth is won by maximizing this gap between earning and spending without adding a single minute of cognitive effort to your daily life. True wealth is often invisible. It has nothing to do with the aesthetic upgrades or luxury goods meant to signal success to strangers. A systems-based approach purchases personal autonomy. Lowering the expense floor while automating the surplus buys the ability to say no. Financial insecurity literally impairs cognitive function, keeping the brain in survival mode. But once a 6 to 12-month cash buffer is automated, the bandwidth tax disappears. With that mental clarity restored, people negotiate differently, take strategic risks, and walk away from bad deals because they are operating from a position of structural strength. Real wealth is built by setting up a boring, automated system and having the discipline to step back and let the math work over time. Replacing the rigid, willpower-based rules of the past with a system of automated friction allows the logic of compounding to finally take over.